So we will do the acronym Community Forestry for All, so that will be CFA grant progress.
Okay.
So, well, Anna, why don't you report on that? That's your baby.
Sure. The good news is that we submitted our first claim and progress report, and both went through fine. So
Okay, good.
that's always a good first test. And
It's true.
and yeah, I've just been working with Teresa to kind of go through all the deliverables. The first one really being focusing on the Greenwood neighborhood for 2026. And so I sent out the survey to all of you.
Yes.
If you have any additional feedback or anything, let me know.
There's a map in the packet, maybe, right?
Oh, sorry, I think I only printed out 2 of these, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I know Steve had already shared comments. But that's sort of just to gain a baseline of the needs, challenges, opportunities, just what are people thinking about trees generally in the neighborhood. And then, and Stu and I had a great meeting with Principal Koenig at Greenwood. And you had the ribbon cutting today.
Yeah,
So,
she was there.
Yeah. And she's very supportive, and would like to see more trees planted appropriately in that neighborhood.
We talked about the curriculum piece too.
Yes, and we talked about some ways to engage with the students, maybe having second graders adopt a tree to kind of track through the year, as well as continuing to do 4th and 5th grade engagement at Arbor Day, but maybe some other pieces as well. So other folks I've outreached with to talk about collaborating that might plug into that are Grand Community Science Project, Carrie, who's already doing things at Greenwood, as well as Dana Kurtz with Anderson Prairie. They did a fish dissection that went really well last year, but they're interested in all sorts of environmental science things. So they're up for collaborating, as well as the Safe Routes to School Coalition. So there's members on that group who are obviously Greenwood parents and are invested in making that route safe. So just chatted with them last night about possibly collaborating and getting them involved with pruning and sight lines. And so I invited them. The next step after this sort of survey in my mind is to then, when we release the survey, hopefully in the next couple weeks, advertise along with it a community gathering at the Greenwood School to say, hey, come talk about the survey results or provide feedback at that time if you want to talk about trees. I would also like to invite people to table, like the Safe Routes to School group. I've talked to Wood Grain, I've talked to Avella Orchards, Anderson Perry, and just like a sort of get to know the neighborhood kind of event to add a little extra to it to entice people to come. So that's sort of the update on where we are with that. Yes, there was too. Yep,
What was
that?
The parent group, the PTA or whatever.
PTS.
Yeah, they're called
Parent,
something different.
parent teacher students.
No.
They have their own names.
Yep. So that's where that is right now. And yeah, I have a whole document engagement plan that I put together if anyone wants more homework to look through, but shared it with Stu and Teresa. And that sort of outlines that neighborhood sort of thoughts going forward there. Teresa and I have also been working on maintenance and planting plan, which is another grant deliverables, and put in the spring tree order as well. And then the other piece is, yes, the yard tree pledge. So new, right, is in addition to the street tree plantings, the aim of this grant was to acknowledge that not everybody has a place on the street for a tree. So there's people in the area can be eligible for a street tree or a free yard tree if they live within the boundaries. And so this was sort of the draft pledge that we came up with. It is heavily borrowed from the city of Portland. We tweaked a few things and we'll just kind of continue refining it, but we already had one participant who was happy to sign it, didn't think it seemed unreasonable in any way, so that was a good test, but also open to any thoughts or feedback there
And there's 60 trees is the deliverable to go in that area, that project
Okay.
area, 60 in each, so 180 total.
60 trees not in public right of way.
Yes,
Not,
So
no,
they have-
combination.
Okay, okay.
Combination.
either or. 60 trees inside that green map.
Okay,
Mhm.
And so Anna mentioned the other component of the community forestry for all, in addition to the outreach and the tree planting, is the maintenance part of it. And we had that initial inventory with ODF, and Anna's been cranking out some good data from that, so that we can, my initial thought was, oh, we'll just have the tree service come in and do the whole project area. Well, I rudely awakened to the fact that we don't have enough money for that.
No.
So we're gonna be putting together a priority list for that.
The other newsworthy piece of that is we had 25,000 a year for maintenance each year. So they talked about it and changed that to $75,000 in 3 years, which will give us flexibility maybe if one area doesn't need as much as the other. Because we can overspend and underspend to balance it.
alright. Anything else, Anna? Teresa, you have anything to add?
CGI grant, progress, they finished up the site prep on Island Avenue. So it's all done with the,
Great.
yeah, the grading and the, cutting the edge for the mulch, and the mulch has all been put in. So Annan has put together a list for trees that'll be going in there for next spring, and we've got those ordered. Anything else on that, Stu?
Well, spring or fall, right?
Spring or fall, yes, well, and probably more heavily weighted toward fall, but we do have some ponderosa pine trees on the lot right now that we might as well be going.
And why wait till fall?
It's just a better time to plant out there because there's no irrigation. So it's just easier on the
Okay.
Yeah,
trees.
they go
less-
in, the ground dormant or close to being dormant,
Uh-huh.
and then
Okay.
we get all that wonderful rain and snow,
Oh,
we hope.
Well, and then the other part of that too is, even though they've lost their leaves, they still have root growth happening. So until that ground freezes, they can be starting to get their roots established and then ready to go in the spring.
okay. And how many trees are there gonna be?
Ooh, what did we figure?
So it's about a 2,000-foot long strip. And we drew out like a staggered planting. So essentially there's a tree every 20 feet. That's offset though, but linearly 20 feet. So it's about 110 trees.
So those will be watered by you?
Us. Yes.
Nature.
Wow.
Nature, yes. And the pro of fall planting is then we don't have to baby them through the summer maybe quite as much. We'll still have to water.
But yeah, they'll go on our summer watering list.
Okay.
So do the trees on the Island City side, are they irrigated?
Some of them
Okay.
are,
Okay,
because they have grass on some of it.
yeah.
Oh, on
Some
the
of them
Island
are.
City
Yeah.
side, yeah.
But they also buried a bunch of those trees a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
There was a big swale,
Yeah,
and so they leveled it, which was interesting. Teresa had some concerns about them living through that.
I
So
still
far,
have
they're living.
concerns.
Some of them are living.
Many of them have.
So they buried
gone.
the trunk?
Yeah.
A big
Yeah,
trunk?
yeah, so
Oh.
there's in places, there's 3 feet of fill around the trunks of those trees.
Wow.
You can't breathe.
I know.
Exactly, yeah,
That's
so it limits air and
ridiculous.
water, and some species are more susceptible to that than others. So it's kind of a nice little petri dish experiment to see which
Yeah.
trees take that the longest.
I think they've lost a couple so
Yeah,
far.
several.
all right, anything else on CGI? Anything?
So that
You moved it.
grant's over December of 26,
Right.
so it will be completed before that or in the fall of 26 probably, and then we'll do our final paperwork.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Tree City Application and Growth Award.
Yeah, so I've got to get moving on the Tree City USA application, and that'll work out nicely, because Anna, we can walk through that together.
Did everyone see what Leah had to say about this?
She,
No.
yeah, so her comments were primarily aimed at growth reward ideas for next year, which will really encompass a lot of what Anna's doing. Publicity campaign during the year, the city or nonprofit partner launched a media campaign to inform citizens about the importance of community forestry, tree planting, tree care, and other important tree issues in the community. So we may be able to tie in the outreach plan into that. And then the other one was environmental equity. During the year, the city conducted a series of community outreach events for residents and other community groups. Outreach should address tree planting, care, etc. So I think those will both probably fit in pretty nicely for
Yeah,
moving forward.
And what do we need, 10 points?
Yeah, you only need 10 points, but sometimes I just put in however many I think are interesting.
I like Leah's suggestion because I think it's a little bit different than we've done in the past. And I think keeping our program dynamic.
Yeah, and I
Is-
think that's an important point. We don't want to just, yes, we do this every year, but
Yeah.
this is what else we're doing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good point.
Is that the growth award or the?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
growth
Yeah.
award. Yeah.
And we get another leaf,
Yep, yeah, we'll get
and
another.
then we'll need another bar.
I have another bar.
Okay.
It's third most in the country
Yes.
in a row.
We talked about moving them to City Hall,
Yes, yeah, and I still would like to see that happen.
That is a good idea.
The miss, the what?
City Hall.
All these plaques.
Yes.
will move.
Mhm.
They should.
Yeah, they talked about taking down that banner that's in the hallway, which will open up a big space.
Yep.
So
Okay.
just need to
Make it happen.
Cool. So that's just something on your docket of many things to do
Before the end of
before.
December.
I didn't want to bring that
Or
up.
put it on my list to be continued.
Five weeks.
All right, new business, Greenwood Community Survey.
Wow, mystery.
I'm sorry, I'm reading a book on the Chosin Reservoir Battle of Korea, the Korean War, and there's a lot of communists there. And
It's on your mind.
it's on my mind, yeah.
I already touched on this, but yeah, just if anybody had any feedback about the survey, the Greenwood principal shared with us that she's been there for a little over a year now, and it sounded like one of the first things she did was survey the parents to see their preferred methods of communication. Really smart. Turns out school's come a long way since I was in it, and they all have apps now where they get notifications
Oh, wow.
pushed to. So she said that was number one, followed by I think the Facebook and Friday folders, which are still paper folders that go home with the kids every Friday. And she said she could help us disseminate this over all of them
Cool.
to really target that neighborhood, because we are going to try to be selective and just get survey responses from that neighborhood. We have on there, if you're not in this neighborhood, you're still welcome to reach out, but please don't fill this out. And they have to select yes, no, so hopefully that filters things out. But yeah, when it eventually goes out, I will just ask for your help sharing it around to the community as well.
Okay.
The green box community, not the community.
Right.
Yes, yeah. Mhm.
Are you inside that box?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes. Across the street from,
Yeah.
I'll call it the Division Street Park. It used to be the
Did it used to
pumpkin.
be called?
No,
No, it used to be called the
Pumpkin
Pumpkin
Yeah.
Park because,
I mean, is it not called the Pumpkin Park
well,
anymore?
there's no pumpkin
Well, I
there.
know what people do.
I think that, what was it before the pumpkin was there? Because the pumpkin was there.
No, it's Benton Street Park, I think
Oh,
it's called. Because it bisects Benton.
Well, anyway, never mind. We
Or
can
is
go
it-
deeper
it
into
blocks
this.
Benton.
Yeah.
Not this meeting.
All right,
It's
So
in the
are
file
we
cabinet
making
behind
any
you.
comments on this?
you- I think we can make comments on it
Yes.
now, or you
Okay.
can get them to Anna, but go ahead.
Question 4. As soon as you read that, you don't want a tree. So.
What does it say? Which is
Oh, it's the
What's it
What do
say?
you find
Oh.
most challenging about trees?
I
And it
see.
lists all these reasons why trees are not great.
I see.
So as soon as you read that, you can say, I don't want a tree, and then the next question is, will you plant a tree? So.
Yeah,
perspective.
that's a good point.
Yeah, I think part of the point of the outreach was to try and understand people's concerns for not wanting to plant a tree.
Uh-huh.
You know, so we can't pretend that trees don't come with, you know,
Maybe change it around.
Is there a place where it talks about the pros of having trees?
Yes.
Okay.
The
What's
fir-
that
the-
most
I think,
about trees?
yeah. What do you like, number 3, what do you like most about trees in the neighborhood? I'm sorry, 3 was just not enough.
Yeah, and the balance is right, like, will people take the time to type something out if we just make it like an open comment box, or is it easier and like for people to just select something?
Now, in Anna's defense, she had a much more robust survey, and Stu said, "Eh."
Chopped it.
Oh no, I mean,
It's true. It was 4 pages before I rolled it.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Well, I think I did it, I didn't submit it, only because I was reviewing it, and it was live at that point.
It's a Google form, Jen. so
And
you
it's
just
pretty
go
quick.
through, like online, you know.
It's really quick to take it,
right.
so. I think, Tony, you got a good, a good
Yeah.
concern about that one, I don't,
Put it at the end.
well, or just change the position 4 and 5. You know, if you like trees,
Do you want to plant one?
yeah, wanna plant one, yes, of course.
That's
And you read the next one,
it's not terrible.
go back.
As long as it doesn't skew the results, I guess.
I don't know,
Yeah.
I think you're right, you do need to find out what people don't like about
Yeah.
trees.
Yeah, because
Maybe leave that one open-ended.
What are you gonna do with that if you find out?
Yeah, leave that open-ended.
well, that's gonna be part of the
Can I see
education
it
piece.
Yeah.
You know, when we know what people's
Important question.
concerns are, then they can be addressed. You know, we don't wanna just say, hey, here's a tree, we're gonna plant it.
Right.
Because they will be expected to take care of it, so there's gotta be, we can't just blindly lead them into
Yeah,
trees.
yeah.
Yeah, but listing all of that out, you go, nope.
Yeah.
But it also, I mean, to Teresa's point and Anna's point, that those are the things then that the outreach person will base their education on for the next
Right.
year. So it's kind of a key question.
Mhm.
So it's hard, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think like some of those things you don't need to put in there because we will plant trees that won't do those things.
We
Like,
hope.
well,
Right.
I mean, like that won't interfere with the power lines and tree
No
roots
messy
lifting
fruit.
sidewalks or
Right.
interfering with underground pipes and stuff. I would assume that we would get trees that would not do that. So
Right.
But the point is, if somebody checked that, then we could say, oh, I'm glad you asked. We don't plant tall
Right.
trees under power lines for that reason.
Right.
And we have a contract with OTEC and we hold them, like, it's an educational
Yeah.
opportunity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and part of it is understanding, because part of it is the maintenance too of the existing trees and keeping them in good condition. What challenges are people finding now that might be barriers to keeping them from maintaining them as they should in some instances?
It's a hard one.
Yeah. I can play around with it.
kind of
Yeah.
Tony.
Is there anything you find challenging about?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think,
leave it open.
dropping the word most,
Mm-hmm.
I think, what do you find challenging about
I think
trees?
open-ended.
Yeah, but I think some of these things, I think leaving some of these things in makes it easier for people to think about what might be going on or what they don't like about
But
trees.
we don't want them to think about it.
Look,
We just want tree propaganda.
You know, if I was doing
Speaking of
this and I
communism.
love trees, cleaning up leaves is not my favorite thing to do. And, the trees in my neighbor's backyard have grown up to a point where now I can't see Mount Emily anymore. So
Are they deciduous?
yes, they are.
Well, you see them half of the year. You see Mount Emily half of the year.
No, I see a lot of branches and this shattered, anyway. There are things in here that I could, I think dropping most and leaving that in, and you're right, it becomes an educational thing, because people may pick those things out of lack of understanding. And this is the educational moment when you can go in and say, whoa, hey, well, look, if we put the tree in the right location, you're not gonna have problems with sidewalks.
Hi, Stu.
It's true. I'm going across the street to the splash pad meeting.
Okay.
So just my brief is that the urban forestry position is posted on the city website, so we're actively recruiting for the next 10-ish days. And Anna's interested. I'm not sure if she's applied yet, but it's open to everybody, and we're sending it out to everybody, and we'll do a screening and we'll do the whole thing. So I may or may not be reaching out for interviewers if you're interested in that. We'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So enough, so hopefully we can get a little overlap with what said before she leaves.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a snafu in posting it, but now it's posted, so.
Okay,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Stu.
Stu.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Good night.
And any other comments about the survey? I think you should, now that he's gone, I thought he'd stop. No, good job. Good job. Anything else about the survey?
No, just feel free to send me comments.
Okay.
If you think of anything else.
Is it live now?
No, it is not live.
All right, Island City Ave project outreach, and do we cover some of that?
Yeah, in a similar vein, Teresa had asked me to think about outreach for that project as well. And it sounded like Teresa and Stu had gone to try to find somebody specifically at the Sacagawea Mobile Home Park that's right there, but hadn't been able to get a hold of anybody. And so we were just hoping at some point to go knock on some doors there, invite people to come plant when that's ready to go in. Maybe start some conversations a couple weeks before. Because I think it came up maybe last meeting, we don't want people to feel like this is something that's being done, to them or at them, but with them. And so.
And that's the mobile home park on the other side of the tracks? or
Correct.
whatever? Okay.
Yes. So yeah, just if anybody was willing to go knock on doors or had any contacts there, that was another ask.
Unfortunately, I don't know one there.
Yeah, and I don't know, we might look at some sort of mailer, door hanger, just some general info.
Do they have a mailbox
Yes.
grouping?
Yep.
I don't know who the manager of the park is, but I mean, could you
Yeah, I
put
don't know
some
either,
type of-
because I could not track anybody down.
It looked like, I looked up the records and it was like, the address was like Haley, Idaho or something. So
Yeah,
probably
that doesn't
the-
surprise
I know there's a local manager, there's gotta be, I just hadn't tracked one down before the grant went in.
Also, if there's a community center, like, I don't know if they have one. Sometimes says,
I
do
think so, but maybe.
They like-
I don't think so.
a bulletin board. Yeah, bulletin, community bulletin board or something.
So that was it on that.
Okay. ODOT crosswalk construction, is that the safe, no, that's not.
No, this
Not
is,
the
so last year or so, they redid the ADA crosswalks at the intersections.
Mm-hmm,
And they're just continuing that project this direction on Adams Avenue.
mm-hmm,
And basically what it is the state doesn't like the sidewalks where you can go both directions from one wheelchair ramp.
gotcha.
They like to have a designated ramp for each direction. And so when they first started this project, they contacted me with a list of trees that they'd gotten off our inventory in this along Adams Avenue and some of the side streets, saying, hey, we're gonna be working in the critical root zone of these trees, so they have to be removed.
Oh.
And I was like, well, no, that's not gonna happen. But anyway, after some iterations, we came down to about 2 trees that I think will actually need to be removed because they will be cutting roots on the sides of the trees.
Mm.
Basically, what they wanted was an out so that they aren't responsible for the trees if they die after this construction happens.
Hmm.
So anyway, I just wanted to let you know, once they start, I think they're out there surveying now. So I don't know exactly when construction's gonna start.
So what's the problem with being able to go? We have so many wheelchairs in town that this is a problem.
It's like the signs on Island Avenue, crosswalk closed. It's not a crosswalk. But anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a state mandated thing.
They probably think it's a safety thing. So a wheelchair comes to an open, right, and they're in the middle.
Go out into the middle.
People
Yeah.
won't know what,
Yeah.
are you gonna go this way, or you're gonna go this way?
Yeah, you're
So
probably
that way,
right.
if they've got just two openings,
Oh, you mean the cards?
yeah, the cars, not that they pay attention anyway.
Anyway, I just wanted to let you know that will be coming down the pipe.
All right, anything else on crosswalks? No? All right, staff reports, urban forester.
You guys got my staff report. I sent out a new one because I saw there was a couple typos in the first one I sent out as usual. So yeah, basically just working on trying to get this maintenance piece of the grant for project area 1 going, wrapping up some other stuff. What else? Oh yeah, because part of the grant deliverables for the Community Forestry for All program were management plans. So we divided it up into 3 plans: a maintenance plan, a planting plan, and then the community outreach plan, which Anna nailed that one. I'm still struggling along with the maintenance and the planting plans. Let's see. I think that's about it, unless you guys had any specific questions about.
No.
Okay.
The UFO coordinator.
Yes.
I couldn't help that one.
Yeah, no, it's yep. So just, adding on mostly outreach things like I mentioned, so posting on Facebook, meeting with people, in addition to the folks I already mentioned specifically in the Greenwood neighborhood. We also did have a meeting with TAPA Strategies. They're a group who they do heat watch monitoring, and they've partnered with cities like Portland and Boise. It was started by a professor at Portland State University who his whole thing is urban tree canopies and heat islands. And so they're getting us a quote at different levels of what it might look like to partner with them, the lowest of which would probably just be getting some equipment, like their stationary weather monitoring systems, in which case we would put that up for 3 months and see how what the temperature readings are. My idea would be to collect some baseline data so that as this project goes about, we can see what the effect of the increasing tree canopy is. And I also just met with folks at EOU's Rev Center, the Rural Engagement Vitality program, and they have a really cool model where they sort of partner with the community businesses and organizations to develop projects, pitch it to a EOU professor, see if they want to take it on and get some applied research out of it and practicums for their students. And so they are interested in that aspect of it as well, or potentially a different iteration might be studying the climate resilience of trees in the grand, seeing which species are doing best, which site factors are influencing that, best management practices, that kind of thing. So those are a couple other things. And a lot of updating the website.
Okay. So I have a thought for going forward with the agendas. Since Anna is doing the CFA grant, wouldn't it make more sense to scratch that out of old business and then just let her report like she's doing now?
Either way.
I just think, it's in progress. It's not necessarily old business, right?
Yeah,
So-
I'm just lazy and I do my report and send it out to you guys, so I don't have to really talk about it.
Yeah, I noticed that. I'm just recommend, just a thought, move the CFA stuff, take it out of old business, and then when you do your UFO coordinator report,
Yep.
that you give us a background of, an update about where you are.
Sounds good. And the last and most important update is that we won the first annual Halloween workplace decorating contest.
Wow. Yeah, I like to see that.
Let's see if I
Or
have.
will that mess up the YouTube stream?
No, it will not.
Yeah, Anna did a fabulous job on that. I can see.
Did you do the design?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
We.
And who
It
who was the
group
competition?
effort.
All the other city
Um,
offices.
That's spooky.
Wait, where's the? I sent an attachment. Hold on. Okay. Oh, maybe I'll just. I made a video.
Oh, no way.
Oh. Come on.
I saw something with chainsaws.
I'll just show you this.
Things that spook urban forest.
So yeah, so Teresa had all of these great stumps upstairs of trees that have been mutilated and wrapped with, grown into power lines or ropes, and we had
Oh God.
some big limbs come down just over here, and then of course we made little emerald ash borers and locust borers. So yes,
You had a chainsaw.
yeah.
And when we went to the Halloween breakfast at City Hall, Anna was, I get it. Anna was an emerald ash borer.
Oh, boo.
Nice.
Some spread some edutainment education there.
Nice.
City Hall.
Very good.
Great.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Anything else?
That's
Go. And Stu gave us his report about the job announcement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Pending business, we usually move through these pretty quick because not much is.
Yeah, they're just placeholders to remind me that these things need to happen.
Yep.
So,
There it is. The
Yeah.
LeGrand School District Campus Survey.
that one's gonna
Yeah,
move to
what's
the
the-
top of the list.
Yay.
So it will be hopefully.
What's the survey going?
So Jen had talked, Jen, you wanna,
I talked with George Mendoza about the importance of trees on the campus because I'm feeling like the middle school looks more and more like a prison. And so he said, I like trees. I was like showing him all this stuff about equity and stuff and how important trees are, especially for lower income people, because I don't know, on the campus. So they're important on the campus because they don't necessarily get them in their homes,
Right.
like the Greenwood area, for example, or
Yeah.
something. And well, I like trees. It's like, what do you want? I'm like, okay. Well, I said, how about I prepare something, or I asked Teresa if we can prepare something for you, then we can give it to you and we can see what you can do.
Okay.
And because one of the places I'm thinking about is that dang parking lot that comes into the
To the middle school?
it
Oh.
comes into
Grand
the
Hospital.
central, like,
Yes, yes,
or
yes.
where the old central was, and I
Yep.
just keep thinking, the hospital's gonna pave that and there's gonna be nothing. Like, no trees or something. I just know it's gonna happen at some point. So I was thinking,
Is the arboretum coming out?
no.
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 But they
No.
could do something
Right.
around, the-
Exactly.
a
And
berm
that's-
around the outside and
But I'm
put
sure that,
trees.
I'm sure that if George said something to them, they'd probably do it. I would
Yes.
assume. So anyway, so that was one area. And, I don't know if there's room for any more around
Cool.
the prison.
Yeah, so that's, Anna and I are gonna go out and just hit all the campuses and
Great.
put together a plantable space list.
Mhm.
We're trying to figure out some way that we can use the inventory to do that. We're working with our IT guy. So,
Cool.
All right. Tree care education.
Now,
Unless-
there were some trees, a few trees, not that, oh yeah, that's sad too.
well, we did get the trees in there by the Wildcat
Yeah, I saw
Center.
that.
Yep.
And there's 3 or 4.
There's 4 there.
And are they committed to watering them?
They said they would be watering them. That's like we talked. Well, we'll get into this here in a little bit, but the absolute only advantage to the rock mulch is that it does hold moisture.
Yeah. They've been so moist when we checked
Oh.
on them afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
The rock mulch as in rocks? Like when you say rock mulch, is that just rocks?
It's just
Yeah.
cobbles there.
Right, okay.
yeah, instead of lovely organic bark,
Right.
mulch is
Yeah.
rocks.
And rocks actually holds in the moisture
They
better?
do.
Interesting.
Not necessarily better, but better than nothing.
It's,
Okay.
yeah, I wonder if that's because it's, the sun's not just baking the top of
Right,
the
it's
soil.
also on that north
Yeah,
side,
it's,
Okay.
Well, and it's usually, yeah.
the rocks reflect some of the sunlight, keep the soil maybe a little bit cooler.
Yep.
I mean, it'd be different if you had it would be interesting to measure temperature under those rocks versus a black mat,
Yeah, that
which,
sounds like a good student tie-in with
what's the temperature difference? And I'll bet it's cooler under the rocks than it is on the plastic mat.
Right. Well,
And
and
then
then
mulch,
humidity
I mean,
is-
you wouldn't just have a plastic mat, you'd have mulch over it.
Yeah, you probably would.
Yeah.
but I think there's a lesson to be learned about mulch.
yes,
plastic mulch.
this is gonna segue nicely into
yes.
the tree care education that Anna has prepared for us.
Yes.
Yes, you each got a printout from Dr. Linda Chalker Scott, who is well regarded in the world of education and horticulture and all things landscaping. She has a great website called The Informed Gardener. She's with UW Extension. And this was inspired by, so I don't know if anybody looked at, we did a post about the site prep that went on along Island Avenue. The comments were very interesting. We did not respond to any of them except for one, which was, I didn't see any landscape fabric going down before you put the mulch in. Maybe that would have been a good idea to help with the weeds. And so Teresa's like, this is an educational opportunity. So put together a very nice response. And so we just thought that could be our education thing. So landscape fabric, if you didn't know, is just that black woven fabric that is quite popular because people think it will keep down the weeds, and of course it does for a little bit until it gets clogged. And for some of the reasons y'all were just mentioning, is not as good as organic mulch. Organic mulch will break down and benefit the soil, and that one is, unless you're buying, what is it you're saying they have like just linen, like
They do have a linen
landscape fabric now. It's plastic basically, so it just deteriorates over the years. And I don't know if anyone has ever had to like go in and try to clean out old degraded landscape fabric, but it just shreds and it's a huge pain. So for those and other reasons that she details here, we did not do that. Also, it would have been very expensive to cover a mile of Island Avenue with landscape fabric.
Yeah, and if you ever get a chance, Linda Chalker Scott, she does a lot of these mythbuster things, but she backs them up with research, because she'll take something that's kind of this commonly held belief, like if I put pine needles on my soil, it'll be more acid. A lot of people think that, and so she actually goes through the steps to say, well, is that true?
Is it true?
No. They break down to neutral like any other organic matter.
Because I thought that.
Yeah. See, it's a commonly held belief, and so that's what she does. She just does the science to see if there's yes or no. So.
Yeah, she didn't have any source on this one, but I did look at Google Scholar, and there are things that you can find, and one of them is just the time it takes that if you put down the landscape fabric, then it can be more time consuming controlling the weeds that do get through than if you just like left it alone and just had organic mulch.
Right. Well, and then the other thing about landscape fabric is, and I have seen her work on this, that it fills up with fines over time. So it no longer is breathable. Initially air and water goes through, but as it fills up with fines, it just starts to act like a solid.
Interesting.
And so, and I've seen the demonstrations that Steve's done where she'll pour water through fresh landscape fabric and the water seeps through nicely. And then she'll put, topsoil on top and shake it off and then do it again. And
Wow.
much reduced. And then it just gets worse and worse over time.
Now I'm feeling bad about the stuff that I put in my yard.
Yeah.
But it's under rock.
Yeah, see, and and like I said, the only time that I would recommend using landscape fabric, if you're doing like a driveway and you don't want your gravel to disappear.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not great for plants.
Right.
So.
Why would your gravel not disappear?
It just keeps it from sinking.
Yeah,
Oh, it's that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It's like running off.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no.
That's-
It's like when we bought our house, we put gravel down in the driveway because it was just a mud hole and it would last for a year and then it would be gone. And we put more gravel down.
Yeah.
yeah,
So yes, if you go dig at the Wildcat Center, you will find the landscape fabric underneath the rock mulch that's in
Yes.
there. But we cut
yeah,
it
so
away.
that the
before we
rocks
planted
don't
the trees.
disappear, right?
Mhm.
Now that's, yeah,
So we cut it away from the trees.
Yep.
Um,
give it some space,
cool.
Yeah. neat,
That's it.
okay. Anything, let's see, where are we? Commissioner volunteer hours, yeah. You need that?
Did you guys have any volunteer hours other than last month's meeting and tree? I already got I already
No,
tracked the
just, just this meeting.
Okey dokey.
Anything else? Should we give the order?
Let's see, our next meeting will be, what's that?
Ninth.
Ninth,
I checked it already.
thank
No, I
you.
probably won't. be
I
here.
probably won't be here. either.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
My mom's having knee surgery.
Oh.
I have to go help.
Is there interest in changing the date?
can we
Or
go to the 16th?
I could do that.
I could probably do that.
the 16th?
Let's plan on moving to the 16th.
Okay.
That's closer to the retirement time, and I would just like to remind commissioners, maybe it would be a good time to say something. Or
Well,
do something pleasant for our urban.
well, that's
forest.
funny, because Anna asked me, goes, does the commission meet in December? And they go, yeah, I think we always meet December. Okay, I just didn't want this to be your last meeting.
That's right.
Yeah.
Should be able to do that.
Okay, well, great, thank you for being flexible.
Let us know, maybe send out a reminder around the week before the 9th, just to say, hey, who can make the 9th? And then if it looks like we
Or
can't
the-
get a quorum,
Is it the 9th or the 7th?
well, no.
The original.
We would originally have met on the 9th,
Oh, on the 9th. Okay.
so I'm just, it just double checking,
Tuesday.
yeah.
Tuesday the 9th.
So
okay.
check around the 4th or the 5th, what people's availability, and if it looks like we can't get a quorum, then we'll shoot for the 16th.
Well, if all three of us can make the 16th, let's plan on that.
Okay.
Because I
Okay, I can just let Leah know.
And let Leah know.
I think
Because Tony and I will not be making the night.
The
I, no,
ninth.
I won't
For
be the
sure.
9th. It'll depend on her recovery,
Right.
whether I can make the 16th.
Right, okay.
Okay, well, we'll shoot for that, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything on the 16th, as far as I know.
Unless somebody's throwing you a wild retirement party.
Let's hope.
You deserve one.
All right, I think we can adjourn.
Okay, thank
you.
you.
Yep, thank you.
You, right?
Stay warm out there.